Hey guys! It's Old Man G here, back again with friends, with guests. You know, this is our Premier League fan preview for the upcoming 2021 season. I'm joined with Sav, Rodney, True Red TV, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool in the chat. Neeks and Have Hope will be coming into the show, so another Chelsea United fan. But yeah, we're basically going to be giving you guys our views on the upcoming Premier League season, representing our teams. Obviously, get your questions in as well. I'll be just asking these guys just a few questions, what their expectations are going into the upcoming season. But before we get into that, how's everyone doing?
Good, man. Good. Living the dream over here. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, Premier League champions. I can't complain. Okay, that's the only time I'll say it. It's the only time.
He started after 1 minute.
He's got the little trophy behind him as well. I see that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like a.
You know what's funny is when I first got it. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can't. I actually broke the crown accidentally. So whatever. Anyway, we move.
Do you have a Liverpool duvet?
No. My wife won't allow that. That's too far.
Right, thanks to everyone who's watching. Remember to like the vid. Check out Sav's at Spurs podcast, True Red TV, Neek Sports, and Hope's channel, and show them your support as well. And obviously get your questions, comments as well. We'll be addressing them bit by bit as we go along. So let's just get straight into it, really. As we wait for the others, what are your expectations? Now, obviously, the transfer window is not finished yet. It's not until October, so we don't have the full picture. But still, going into the upcoming 2021 season, and I'll start with Sav here. What is your expectations for Tottenham Football Club going into 2021 season based on what we know now?
On what we know now, in terms of 5:10 on this lovely Wednesday afternoon, and the transfers that Spurs have done. I'm looking at 5th or 6th again. I don't feel that we've yet, and this is all caveated because we don't know what's going to happen, but I don't feel yet that we have strengthened enough to, City and Liverpool are gone. Those guys are miles away. We're not even talking about them. United and Chelsea finished, 6 points ahead of us, maybe 5 points, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And Chelsea have gone out and bought, players like Ziyech, Werner, Havertz, Chilwell. They're going to get maybe someone like Oblak, and they've got Thiago Silva. And I'm looking at that going, bloody hell, how are we going to keep up? Mm. And then I look at United, they've got Van der Beek. I'm sure they'll land another couple of big players before the window shuts. And I don't see how we can compete. Lots of Spurs fans will say top 4, but at the moment, unless we get like a Bale on loan or a Coutinho or somebody of that ilk, I think we're going to be Europa League again.
Fine. And
sorry, Spurs fans.
But even just outside of like top 4, in like maybe so if we include like trophy competitions like domestic, like FA Cup, League Cup, etc., do you think that Jose Mourinho, with the squad that he actually has, can actually get a cup of some sort?
To be honest, I mean, look, I love Mourinho. Mourinho's not the problem at Tottenham Hotspur in any way, shape or form. The difficulty that he's got is at the moment we've got one striker in the squad. And we've got something ridiculous like 18 games in September and October. Kane's going to have to play nearly every one of those games because we don't have another option. He's going to get burnt out and get his yearly injury. And then once Kane comes out of the team, we're nothing, in my humble opinion. Okay. And I just think it's going to be too many games to sustain any sort of a cup run. I think this season is going to be really, really tough. But if anyone can do it, Jose just knows how to win cups. So, yeah, 50-50.
Sorry, this is Super Chat Nasser. My bad, I've just seen interesting. Hope I can be on one of your podcasts in the future. Yeah, Nasser is the other City fan. I'm trying. It's not your fault, Nasser. It's difficult to get hold of City fans. I've just realised it. It's just difficult to get hold of you guys. You just need to have less oil money, more fans, then it helps, So, but anyway, it's not a problem. You can still come on if you're free. So, always, you've got time. Okay, yeah, no, we'll sort something out in the future. Don't worry, Chief. Rodney, obviously things are looking a bit positive on your end with trophies and stuff like that. So, as an Arsenal fan, things look like they're going on the up. So what would be your expectations so far going into the coming season?
I think definitely try and push for getting back into the Champions League. Hopefully through top 4 rather than Europa League, because that one's a bit too tricky to tell how the competition is going to progress. But I think, as Sav said, you've got to look at signings. At the moment, obviously we've just signed Gabriel, but I think with having Gabriel and Saliba, it's even then more important that the midfield progresses. Do you understand? So there's talk about maybe Bellerin being sold to fund more midfielders, but then I think that's a bit tricky because you're getting rid of your best right back to then bring in players that will have to take some time to settle into the team. So I think fourth with players like Pepe hopefully improving, with players like Willian hopefully being impactful, and hopefully just seeing like a bit more of a settled side than we saw last season, definitely. So that's what I'd say like the maximum expectation I have is.
Okay, and just regarding like cups, like do you expect that Arsenal retain the FA Cup again next season, seeing as you're the FA Cup merchants? So is that just your thing
now? It's a tough one because when we won the FA Cup, we weren't as good in the league. So I don't know if we're necessarily a team that can do
sideshow cup. That's a sideshow trophy.
Listen, this guy, like, he can't even spin. He's just saying,
where's your camera, by the way?
No, because I'm waiting because I'm actually on my job, so I'm waiting for my taxi. It's just taking 3,000 years to go. So I just thought, look, man, while I wait for it, let me just. I'm actually at Finsbury Park in the rain, hiding from the rain, waiting for my taxi. I say, look, man, let me just come and just drop some truth bombs on you guys, man. So yeah, sideshow trophy. Keep talking.
Mind blown.
No, okay. Well, HH can mind his business in it. I don't know. His team was trying to win the sideshow trophy and lost, so I don't know what.
Oh my God!
Let's go.
It's you. Oh, look at this guy, man.
No. In terms of cups, man, I think if we were to like go for the Europa League, we wouldn't finish top 4. I think that's the way the squad is at the moment. So I think the priority at the end of the day just has to be get back to Champions League because I can't take any more of this competition. Not gonna lie to
you. Yeah, you can't. Olympiacos, man. What was that about? So like, but anyway, we'll uncover that. We'll move on. Actually, move on. Neeks, thank you for joining us, man. As a United fan, I'll step back. I'm trying to be unbiased here. So, but with a nice signing, Van der Beek coming in, a bit of positivity coming around. What are your expectations for Manchester United going into the upcoming season?
Not to dwell on what we were just talking about in terms of Arsenal, but I heard some news that Arsenal were looking for Van der Beek as well. So to get in, it's another one ticked off the box, and hopefully, there's rumours going around about other transfers. And hopefully we can pick some more off the box in terms of getting signings in front of right. In terms of Man United, what's my expectation? I mean, we finished third last year. So to go into the season and to expect to drop below that would be doing us a disservice, I think. And I say that at this point because the transfer window isn't closed. If we finish the transfer window with the same squad as we got now, and I assess the others. So if, for example, worst case scenario, we don't sign anyone else. Man City sign Messi. Arsenal go and sign Partey and who's the other one they're linked with? Hossam Aouar. Then I have to reassess everything. But as it stands right now, if we all go into the season with the teams that we got now, I expect us to finish in the top 4. Unfortunately, Chelsea have strengthened to a level that we haven't done so yet. So I don't think I can expect us to finish above them based on the fact that we finished level on points last year. But what we do have going into the season is hopefully a fully fit, full season Pogba, a full season Bruno Fernandes, and a fully fit full season Martial and Rashford. And I think if we have that, then top 4 is the minimum for me. If we have those 4 players plus Van der Beek going into next season.
Any trophies? Any domestic trophies?
I mean, it would be good. Winning a FA Cup, we haven't won that since 2016. To be fair, before that, we didn't win since 2004. So hopefully, we don't have another 12-year wait for the FA Cup. As small as the FA Cup might seem, especially in today's football world, where it's dominated largely by money in terms of you try and get into the competitions and finish in the positions which bring you the most revenue. I still like to win trophies. Going to Wembley and seeing Man United win the FA Cup against Crystal Palace. I don't care if it's Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace got there. That's not my argument. My argument is Man United.
Full season.
Excuse me. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. For me, I think it's good to win a trophy, good to win a cup. Realistically, I can't be saying Premier League, Champions League. But I think in terms of progression of Manchester United, not having to worry about finishing the top 4 every year is where we need to get back to. When we were growing up watching Man United, it never entered our minds that we might finish outside the top 4. It was are we going to win the trophy outside the Premier League or not? That was the 2 questions, and that's where we need to get back to. And winning the FA Cup doesn't necessarily bring that, but it would be nice. It would be nice.
You're not sniffing the Premier League, man. Relax. You're not sniffing that trophy.
I'm coming to you, HH. I'm coming to you, HH, because before we go to obviously the current champions, which is True Ed, HH, obviously with Chelsea, everyone acknowledges that Chelsea have done really good in the transfer window so far. They've bought a lot of players for a lot of money. I'm sure everyone here also recognizes that your team had one of the worst defensive records in the top 10.
Yeah.
It was bad, and a 75 million flop keeper.
Yeah.
We accept that. Accept it. So going into this coming season, have hope, and with the amount of money that you spent on, a 36-year-old Thiago Silva, for example, you got for free, to be fair. What are your expectations going into the season, man? What are your expectations? Is that it? Is that what your expectations?
Literally nothing. Wow.
Basically, Francis is under the scope right now. He's under pressure. And right now, basically, the holiday is over. We gave him 1 year to chill and have fun. Now the exam starts. So you've chilled out in your room and everything. The exam now starts now, because look, if you're telling me Kai Havertz, you're bringing me Werner, you're bringing me Ajax's best player, who was Ziyech, not a dude called Frankie, or that dude called De Ligt. Ziyech was actually their best player, and now I'm hearing German Zidane as Kai Havertz. Wait. Also, by the way, why do people keep bringing up Thiago Silva's age? Like, are we ageist here? We all get old. So you insulting Thiago Silva's age, you're disrespecting your elders and your parents as well. So please leave his age out of this whole thing. It's irrelevant. So the team is there to do something. So you say expectations. If Lampard doesn't bring me at least 1 trophy, I'll look at him sketchy. The only way that he keeps his job without winning a trophy is I want to see runners-up in the Premier League, or I want to see either quarters or semis in the CL. So that's the main thing, because Chelsea have easily the most fluid, exciting young attack in the world. Because if you look at what the attack could potentially do with Werner, Ziyech, and so forth, there is no attack on the planet that is as fluid, as dynamic, or as imaginative as that attack. So you have goals there. And with Thiago Silva, you have got a leader there in the back. And also, by the way, Chelsea are not kicking a ball this season if either Kepa or Caballero are in goal. So once Chelsea secure either Oblak or Onana, like basically Lampard, I don't even want to hear any excuses or anything. I want to see trophies. So either you give me the Premier League, the Champions League, maybe the FA Cup, or else I'm not really a fan of that trophy. So Champions League, Premier League, or the Arsenal trophy, or give me the runners-up in the Premier League, or quarters or semis in the Champions League. That's what I'm expecting. But yeah, I'm expecting big things. Like Lampard has zero excuses this season.
I'm gonna be honest. Quarterfinals in the Champions League ain't enough for what you've expected.
I mean, Leon got to the quarter. Wait, no, Leon got to the semis. Did
Semis.
Further than Man City, let me just
how much did they spend? Like nothing, nothing. You know. So
can I just make a point about Chelsea? I'm actually going to stick up for them here, which is really weird. Okay, I think we're hearing his taxi conversation, but never mind. As long as it's not fake taxi, I'm all up for it. Right. So I think the difficult thing with Chelsea is they've spent a hell of a lot of money this window, yeah? And normally you would say that a club that spends 200 or 250 million, whatever they end up spending, you would say, right, you've got to win a title. You've got to challenge. My thing, why I think this is different, is I think this is the first time that Chelsea have spent this amount of money but been that far behind City and Liverpool. You know, we're not talking like they were 5 or 10 points behind. They were 30 odd points behind, 35 points behind Liverpool. So, you know, spending that money, I still think it only puts them third or fourth because, you know, I still don't think they've got as much as Liverpool and City. That's just me.
On an unbiased note, or from a fan's perspective, I don't disagree with you. But what's Abramovich thinking? Is Abramovich? That's a different ball game. So we might say, for example, and I say you're not wrong for saying it. You spend that money, but it doesn't guarantee you close 30 points in Liverpool. If necessary, because we're assuming champions are going to end up with 99 points or whatever it might be. But Abramovich might say, well, I don't care. If they can finish 99, I'm spending 300 million over the last 2 years. I want to finish on 99. And if you don't, I'm going to get a manager who can, because he has proven.
Yeah. Listen, he's backed him, isn't he? He what Frank can't do at the end of the season is turn around and say he was not backed, because he's bringing in some serious footballers. Let's see how good he is, because let's be fair, a Mourinho, a Klopp, a Pep, an Ancelotti with that team that they're buying would win something without a doubt. So let's see.
Well, speaking of winners, now to True Red TV. Obviously, you're current champions. Well done, like I said, on your first title in 30 years, Premier League. As a Liverpool fan, and obviously the optimism going in, like, what are your expectations? I mean, the transfer window has obviously not been as glorious as, say, a Chelsea. But you guys still expecting big things from Liverpool going into this season?
Well, when you said well done there, that was the most passive-aggressive congratulations I've ever had. But no, thank you for having me on. Saba, Neeks, Rodney, pleasure to meet you. So Neeks made a great point earlier where he said, as things stand, right? So there's a Messi saga, there's Thiago with Liverpool. I know Chelsea Havertz, and I know Man United are looking at, what's his name, the right winger, Jadon Sancho. So if we take as things stand, I think Klopp can squeeze one more year out of this current team. So as things stand, we can win the league again, but it'll be like 5 points, 2 points, something like that. It'll be a lot closer. And then we will need changes because, you know, we're lacking in a playmaker and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy the ride. You know, Liverpool have been a banter club for like 15, 20 years. This is unprecedented times for me. So do I think we'll retain it? Yes. Do I think we'll have a good season? Yes. But if Man City to win it, there'd be no shame in that. There'd be no surprise in that. And I just want to say to what Have Hope said, in terms of a young, fluid attack, I think Man United have the best in the league, in my opinion. If you look at a young attack that's coming through, that to me seems far better than what Chelsea have, because we haven't even seen Chelsea yet. So those are my 2 cents anyway.
Yeah, I think on paper, definitely the Chelsea one looks more exciting because Havertz cost 100 million, Werner cost 50 million, Pulisic cost 60 million, Ziyech cost 40 million. They all got names and foreign hairstyles maybe. And then you got Marcus Rashford, who just feeds the kids. And, you know, Mason Greenwood, but if his name was Mason Gridinho, then maybe we might get a bit worried. Anthony Martial hasn't really proven himself over 5 years, so can we really expect it? So I think on paper, the Chelsea one looks like, it's the most exciting. But as you said,
but does it? Does it really? Because if Mason, look, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I keep it real. Mason Greenwood is the best teenager in the Premier League by a million miles. I live in America, just so you guys know. Christian Pulisic over here is adored by those who know him. But like Rashford has been in the league a lot more. Bruno Fernandes has done more than what Havertz has done. We haven't seen Havertz in the Premier League. So Chelsea do look exciting, yes, but it's pointless if you're soft as anything at the back. So exciting times ahead. Let's put it that way.
Okay, that's exactly. We all know Arsenal winning the league in the next few years. That is, unless they sell Hector Bellerin. Thoughts on that, Rodney?
Yeah, listen, man. Obviously, I spoke about that whole situation a bit earlier. It's funny that I think Hector Bellerin, like behind Mesut Ozil, was probably like the most polarizing player at Arsenal. Like, because my friend brought me the story about him being linked to PSG yesterday, and we had completely different views on it. So I checked the timeline, and there's just people talking like on the completely opposite ends of the spectrum. So you've got some people that are like, he's trash, he's never been that good, he's too vegan, he's too skinny. Yeah, he needs to take that modeling career Paris. But then for me, like for me, it's just like when you consider the fact that he's coming back from this ACL injury, I don't see that many players that come back from that kind of injury after being off for a long time. They're just amazing straight away. And even then, like he's been their best right back since he's been back. Like I like Ainsley, I want Ainsley to stay, but Ainsley Maitland-Niles right now is like he's basically the James Milner of the team, where like he just fits into different spots, but he's got the potential to maybe be a starting right back. But when we saw him playing a run of games, got dropped from the team, and then we don't know where he was. Then we signed Cedric, and we're thinking maybe Ainsley's going to be in the midfield. So I think it's one of them ones of Hector Bellerin where if you move him on, you're kind of, it's like selling your sofa so you can buy a TV. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's a little bit one step forward, one step back. So are you really going anywhere? I don't really feel like you should have to sell some of your better players to try and improve the squad, but we'll see what happens with it.
Fine. Quickly moving on to the next question, because I think Aston what expectations are. I think have HH, are you debating with that taxi driver?
Yeah. I'm here.
You're getting change. Okay.
Can I just say that it's official. Donny van der Beek has been announced by Manchester United.
Has he been announced now?
By the way, I've seen Man United fans be like, whatever. This guy's an excellent footballer, by the way.
Yeah,
you've got yourself 40 million. You got yourself a bargain. This guy's gonna be class.
Yeah.
It's on the yellow strap on Sky Sports News as we talk. Yeah.
Wait. Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, HH.
I want to know, Sava, have you watched the first 3 episodes?
Yeah. I mean, do you want me to answer that in short or in full? What do you want me to do?
No. Just a one-word answer. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's move on.
Do you think, as somebody who runs a Spurs podcast, that I wouldn't have watched?
Yeah, that's a very.
I was just confirming because we are about to see 6 of the most exciting, explosive episodes of anything we've ever seen in this kind. I personally can't wait. Me being Mourinho being one of my personal heroes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's. I mean, the only thing I'll say on it, unless I'm asked the question, obviously, I think Mourinho comes off brilliantly on it. I think he's the one that's come off this program so far the best. I think he's different to what a lot of people think.
I think Levy comes off quite good as well, from what I could see.
Yeah, let's not get into Daniel Levy.
Talk about that.
It's a sore subject.
Coming into the question, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like going into the season right now, obviously we have who is out of your team, who is going to be your most valuable player? Someone?
So is this for the forthcoming season?
For the forthcoming season, HH, yeah. In fact, HH, why don't you start? I'm interested to see who your MVP.
Okay, so who do I think will, or who do I think will, or who do I think should be?
who do you think will be?
But I really, based on how Lampard plays, I really think it's going to be Ziyech, because I just think like the ability for him to play multiple positions, drift out wide in the middle, and so forth, and how Lampard wants to attack and everything. I think Ziyech, I think his creativity, goal scoring, and facilitating for others will be very important, because I just think when you just look at what he did for Ajax, again, I was like, I don't know why he wasn't good for Morocco, because maybe it's just like a system thing. So you just hope that because Morocco are a bit more, like Renard has a more of a rigid for formation, as opposed to Ten Hag, he allows his players to have more freedom. If like Lampard gives the freedom for the players and Ziyech to go through, I think Ziyech is going to be the most important player, because again, this is an attacking team. If it was a defensive team, then you'd look at Kante or thingy. So for this generation to work, i.e., if you're saying Venice a false nine, I think Ziyech is going to be the key component in the whole thing. So what?
That's Rodney. That's Rodney's. That's his. I mean,
Rodney, what is wrong with you?
He's Lampard's favorite player. You know, he brought him away from Derby. So
are we talking? Who we talking about? Sorry.
So Mason Mount. Mount.
2 years he'll be gone. He'll be gone. He's pointless.
Mason Mount. The hell? Are you sick?
Well, seeing as Rodney, you posted that. Rodney, who do you think is going to be? Who do you think is going to be Arsenal's MVP this season?
I think you'd expect it to be Aubameyang, but I know. Like HH's last few videos, like he's been going in on Pepe a little bit. But for me, I honestly think Pepe is the most talented attacker at the club. I think what he does in terms of being able to create, being able to take on players, I think he's been able to get into like the inside channel more, into sort of half spaces, and we've been seeing what he can do on his left foot in terms of delivery, striking the ball, set pieces. I think he's got the capacity to be like one of the most important players when you're looking at overall in 90 minutes, if he can just get those performances together. But I think him being someone that's settling in from France, didn't have a preseason, having this year and having finally like a settled manager after Emery and Lundberg, I think definitely like he'll be like right up there next season. I think he was even a bit underrated this season, to be honest.
Fair enough. Okay. Sarah, I have a feeling I know who your player is, because you mentioned him a few times already. But just so the audience is aware, like, who do you think is going to be Spurs' most important player coming into the season?
It's the guy who's our most important player every single season. Any Spurs fan that says anything other than Harry Kane is
oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Are you actually kidding me?
Sorry. So the guy that scores 30 goals a season, year in, year out, isn't our most important player.
1 + 1 doesn't always equal. So we're talking football. You have to think four-dimensionally. Yes, he scores those goals. The most important player for Tottenham will always be the sun rises in the east. Always has been, always will be. Harry Kane, he's there to score goals. Son is the key.
Havo, let me explain something to you. As somebody who goes to watch Spurs every week, let me explain something to you, okay? Heung-min Son is brilliant. There is no doubting that Heung-min Son is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And this week on my podcast, we actually had the debate, is he world-class or is he not? My personal opinion is that he's not, for one simple reason, is consistency. So Heung-min Son goes through these phases where he's absolutely breathtaking, and he'll get like 8 or 9 goals in 5 games. Then for the next 8 or 9 games, he can't score to save his life. Harry Kane never, ever, ever goes 8 or 9 games and not scoring a goal. The man is, whatever people think of him, and he's another one that if he was Argentinian or Brazilian, would be rated higher. The boy hits the back of the net every time he has a shot. And
in every big game as well. Harry Kane hits a goal in every big game, every massive game.
You can't deny.
Once again, look at his record in Derby. especially North London derbies, but also just big teams in general. He didn't score in the Champions League final, cool, but I mean, no one in the Spurs side.
He was injured in the Champions League final.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. You know, look, what you've got to remember is as well, right? Is ask any Spurs fan. Let me know if there's any Spurs fans in the comments. The moment Harry Kane is out injured, yeah, we'll shit ourselves. Because, yes, Kane, Son steps up and does a job, but it's not Harry Kane. It's not that ruthlessness. It's not that one touch at your feet and goal. And any football fan in the world that says Harry Kane isn't Spurs' most important player, no offence, have hope. It's deluded. It is. We're not like some of your clubs. We're not like your clubs where you've got 3 or 4 world-class players. We don't have that. We have Harry Kane. And the moment we sell him, we are in big, big, big trouble. So I'll go with the bloke that's won 2 golden boots, the World Cup golden boot, and we wouldn't sell for nearly 200 million. So I'm going with Harry Kane. It's definitely not Son.
If I can just say, there's nothing like whether you think
so
Son
we are
or
all
Kane.
so everyone is saying Harry Kane is world class.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
Yes.
The question.
Yes. Sorry. Listen. You know I'm not. You guys know I'm not biased. Look at the amount of shit I get from my own fans for telling the truth. Harry Kane. If Harry Kane isn't a world-class player, I'm confused as which striker in world football is other than Lewandowski. If Harry Kane isn't, the boy's goal record is frightening.
The big issue with Kane, I think, as someone says, is his injury record. That's the big issue with. Oh, she just got left.
I'll take it. What do the kids say? That is that a dub? The kids say that. I'm learning.
He's got his taxi, so I don't know. So I mean, to be honest, the question was actually not whether Harry Kane was world class. Actually, the question specifically was, who do you think is going to be your most important player going into next season? And it's obviously everyone's opinion, stuff like that. But I think what Sav is almost trying to say is, at the end of the day, if Kane is out, there isn't going to be anyone there to score the goals on a regular, consistent basis, which is going to cause Spurs problems. I'm sure that's the same thing with. I know Rodney mentioned Pepe, but I've got no doubt that if Aubameyang is gone, I don't know where your goals are going to be coming from, and like in a big thing. So I think that's
there's very few strikers like that in the world now. You know, I mean, growing up, guys, if you remember, every team had a striker like that. You know, at one time, players like Robbie Fowler and Andy Cole couldn't get in an England squad.
Les Ferdinand,
Les Ferdinand, Ian Wright, all these people couldn't get in an England squad. But now you look at it, out-and-out strikers that score 25, 30 goals a season, they're very few and far between now. You know, Aubameyang does it year in, year out, scores goals. You know, United, you know, you don't have you've got lots of good, really fast attacking players and you play a different way to us, but you don't have a bloke that can put the ball in the net, the regularity of Harry Kane or Aubameyang. You know, it's please don't take Kane out my team.
Just highlighting some of his comments here. So we will get your question soon. Going to True Red, you know, I think the Liverpool question is going to be an interesting one, actually. Out of your squad right now, who would you say is your most important player going into the upcoming season?
Oh, it's a given. It's my Lord and Savior, Virgil van Dijk. I mean, if you look at Liverpool prior to Van Dijk, we were just another Spurs, so to speak. Where like when Spurs went to that period where they were just trying to get to the top. No. I mean it respectfully, passive aggressively, of course. But no, what I'm saying is if you take Van Dijk out this Liverpool team, we're just a very good top 4 team. You put Van Dijk in, we are European champions. That is the level of the person we're talking about. So this Liverpool team, people talk about systems and players. If you look at Barcelona, they've had Messi. Juventus, that Ronaldo is carrying them. This Liverpool team is the definition of a system-orientated team. You know what I mean? So Van Dijk is the glue that pulls it all together. I mean, Dejan Lovren, Van Dijk, it is levels, so we can keep going. But so Van Dijk is the most important player. And if we take, what happened to Laporte, if that happens to Van Dijk, we're not winning anything. So
Fine.
And just to chime in on what Saba was saying, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying Son is the main man or Kane. I think they're both within the scope of acceptability. But to dismiss Harry Kane, you're just being disingenuous. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I so far this is the first time I've spoken to Crazy Taxi Guy, and yeah, I know, HH. The definition of delusion gets re-emphasized every single time. So, but yeah, you guys, Van Dijk for me, 100%.
Yeah.
Would you not say Henderson is quite important as well?
No, Jordan Henderson to me is. So there are certain footballers who are great athletes, but they lack intelligence. Jordan Henderson is the epitome of that. He's taken 10 years. He's taken 10 years to finally show Liverpool he can play football. The guy's had Suarez in front of him.
Sorry, Shred, hold on for a second. Shred, hold on. I've seen this. How true is this? Wait, so Justin, when Adams with a 300 past 50 million, we are getting robbed from him. Okay, so effectively that means that Thiago's going to Liverpool.
So
that's breaking, is it?
So I read about this last night. Now, Liverpool fans have bemoaned the lack of transfer activity. And I've always said, one, we'll wait for Bayern to actually finish their season. And two, given Ronald Koeman is trying to get the Dutch national team over to the Nou Camp, let's see what happens with Wijnaldum and all that kind of stuff. Liverpool fans should not be disappointed Gini Wijnaldum has left the club. I mean, he's done all he can for Liverpool. He's had the best years of his career at Liverpool. Why wouldn't you want to go to the Nou Camp and go play for a prestigious Barcelona? I mean, he's earned that right. He deserves it. So 15, 20 million might be a steal. It may not be a steal. I would take Thiago all day long. That midfield playmaker, Christian Eriksen, Mesut Ozil, whatever type player is what we're missing. And that is something Jordan Henderson can't do, never can do, never will do, never has done. So
Thiago's a game changer for you.
Yeah, 100%. And
he is. Whenever anyone talks about the world's best players, he never gets mentioned, and he is phenomenal. Like,
you want to know why? You want to know why, Sava? It's because we live in a stats-based world, and Thiago has something that you can't reduce down to a number. That when he makes a pass, like, I'm not comparing him, but the likes of Iniesta, Zidane, Kaká, all these great players, nobody talks about their stats because their intelligence cannot be reduced down to a number. That's what Thiago is. So
I love that.
Yeah, but you know, as they say, stats are for mugs. I'm a big proponent. I don't listen to any stats apart from goals scored and clean sheets because they physically win you games. And if I can just say, sorry, on Jordan Henderson, as I was saying, he's had Suarez in front of him, he's had Van Dijk behind him, Gerrard next to him, Salah to the right of him, Mane to the left of him, and only now, after 9 years, we are finally seeing somewhat of a good player. So, bro, Jordan Henderson, I couldn't care less. Forgive me.
I'm glad you said it and not me, because I'll be called a hater.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. The Liverpool fans that say he should have got Player of the Year, again, it's delusional. KDB, Mane, or Van Dijk, any one of them, no problem. But Henderson, never in a million years.
Can I just ask, did I even mention Naby Keita?
What about him though? What about him?
No. Rick's mentioned in the comments. Don't play down Naby Keita. I was in for a shot Fulcrum, so I don't know where that came from.
I don't think I've mentioned Naby Keita's name ever in my life until coming on this show.
The thing about Naby Keita is like Amir Khan's chin. They're both made of glass. So what do you want me to do? Like, if he's not on the field, then the guy is a sickener every other week. So, bro, thanks, but you know,
I just think if Liverpool get Thiago for 30 million. That's the sort of, for me, I think, you know, always strengthen from a position of strength, like the great United teams and the great Arsenal teams and Chelsea teams. That is a great upgrade if you're changing him for Wijnaldum. I'm not saying, I mean, Wijnaldum's a very good footballer who serves a purpose, but Thiago, that's you saying we're champions. Look who we're buying, and that is that's game changing, especially with Man City in talks with Koulibaly. You know, because they're strengthening up. So
and possibly Messi, but I'm not trying to think about that right now. So just put the Messi talk and City out of there. Let's not even. This whole thing might even be a complete we might we'll throw away the league if City even think of signing Messi. And speaking of which, coming to Neeks, as a United fan going into this season, who do you think is going to be United's most valuable player?
I think it's actually, as it stands, I think it's actually going to be Anthony Martial.
So not McTominay.
Definitely not McTominay. However, I do like McTominay, and I think he's gonna be at Man United for a long, long time. Whether just a squad player or whatever, but I think I like McTominay. Yeah, I would say Anthony Martial. Now, Anthony Martial arguably is already our most important player, and I know the impact that Bruno Fernandes had when he came in, but there's only one person in our squad who can do the job of Anthony Martial. There's actually no one else who can do that. We brought in Donny van der Beek, and he can play in the attacking midfield position. We've seen Pogba play also in the attacking midfield position. But of course, when it was just Pogba, the players behind him weren't good enough to really get him the ball. Or he was having to do, I guess, both the job of retrieving the ball from deep and attacking as a number 10. When you have now Pogba and Bruno on the side, it makes the job of the number 8 in Pogba and the number 10 in Bruno that much easier because you just have to do your own job. If you were to switch those two around and put Bruno as an 8 and Pogba as a 10, I think we will be easily as effective. I think now that we brought in Donny van der Beek, it means that if Pogba's out, Donny can come in. If Bruno's out, Donny can also come in. He's the very first time midfielder. Whereas if Anthony Martial is injured, we already saw that Marcus Rashford doesn't have the skill set to play as a lone striker through the middle. He can do the striker role as a 2. He can do the inside forward, a split striker, as a wide, whatever you want to call it, inverted winger. He can do that job very, very well. But as a lone striker who's expected to play with his back to goal, hold up the ball, link play, and then get into the box to score goals, I have not seen Marcus Rashford do that yet in his Man United career on a consistent basis, whereas Anthony Martial has done it for 2 seasons, his first season and his last season, i.e. The season we just finished. If he gets injured, as good as Mason Greenwood is, again, he has not demonstrated his ability to play as a lone striker with his back to goal. Him coming off the right, and with that demon left foot that he has, he finds an inch of space, he scores the goal. But playing as a one-man forward line, I say one-man forward line, but as a lone striker, and having to hold up the ball and bring everyone else into play is a different job. And Martial, for me, is the only one who's shown that he can do that and score goals. Igalo's got the skill set to hold up the ball, but Igalo's not getting you 20 goals a season. So for me, I think Martial is our most important player because he's the only player in our squad, barring maybe Harry Maguire, personally, who is irreplaceable. And I say that because the level of the other centre-backs we have and the availability of the other centre-backs is not good enough.
Come on, Neeks. Come on, Neeks. Okay, I was with you for the. Okay, no, because obviously I'm not so. Do you think that Manchester would struggle without Harry Maguire?
We conceded like 50 goals last year without Harry Maguire. Of course, we'll struggle without Harry Maguire.
Yeah, but you'd be a lot higher without him too. Like it's like.
But our points last season were more than.
Forget the points. Maguire's role is to get clean sheets and stop teams from scoring. We haven't been able to do that because Bailly can't stay fit. Phil Jones can't stay fit. Rojo couldn't stay fit when he was here and isn't good enough. Phil Jones isn't good enough, by the way, even if
everyone could accept that.
And Chris Smalling has had opportunity after opportunity. As much as I like him, he ain't good enough to start for Man United over the course of the season. Maguire, Bailly for me is our best centre back on ability, but he is not fit. So if Maguire is out injured, who do you start in the centre back?
He's been fit since February. He was fit in the Europa League campaign, and he didn't play
because he hasn't played. And every time he plays, then he gets injured. If you expect Bailly to last a season, show me when he's done that. Show me one season.
When he's fit, for example, he was in Europa League semi-final. He was fit. He played the previous game. So why did he play in the second game?
Doesn't matter. If he played 5 games in a row, he's out for the next 5 games. That's what he's shown so far at Man United. So yeah, we might bring him in 1 game here and 1 game there. But if Maguire is out injured, you don't know who our centre backs are going to be because you don't know if Bailly's going to be fit at the moment that Maguire gets injured. Lindelof is not good enough, never will be good enough to be the main Man United centre back, and that's why we need to buy a centre back. Which means that because at the moment for me, we've only got one quality centre back who can stay fit all season. Maguire played every game in the league last year. Nearly.
He didn't have to play every game in the league this season.
If he didn't, we might not have finished in the top 4 because we conceded nearly 40% less goals in the league this season than we did last year. The True Red said, "I only care about 2 stats: goals scored and clean sheets." So is Maguire's job not to stop the ball? And added to that, Davide had a terrible season. So you've got the goalkeeper making errors, yet you still conceded nearly 40% less goals. But we're going to pretend because he cost 80 million and he's not as good as Van Dijk, he's not important for Manchester United. I didn't say he's the best centre back. I said he's the most important, one of the most important players for Manchester United. But there's no one in the squad who can actually replace him.
Neeks, to give you the respect, I think what it was is that you use the term he's irreplaceable. Just to give you context, when you said irreplaceable, do you mean in comparison to other United centre backs?
Of course. The question was in terms of who's our most important player, and I said as it stands, there's nobody in the squad who can replace Anthony Martial and replace Harry Maguire. Paul Pogba is a far better footballer in his role than Maguire is in his role.
Of course.
And that we have Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek, it means now that if Pogba is out, the drop-off from the team, hopefully, will not be as big as it was before we got Donny van de Beek. We saw anytime we stop playing our starting 11, Pereira, Lingard, Mata, Fred, McTominay will come in and can't do the job of Pogba, Bruno, and Mata. I'm hoping that with Donny van de Beek, that's not going to be the case.
I think that's a very good argument for me.
I agree. Very good. Well, whether I agree with you or not, I get the context. Neeks. I get it.
Let's quickly move on because I think we're 45 minutes in. I think we're still on question 2, and I just want to address a few of the questions in the comments in the end. So I'm going to skip one of the questions. So I think this is going to be quite maybe a curveball. We'll see. Obviously, we're talking about the top 6 clubs here. We know we know sacking is a thing in football, obviously. So given the 6 clubs we're talking about, including obviously Pep Guardiola in this one as well, which coach do you think will be sacked first?
Hang on, just quickly, can I ask a question?
Yeah, okay.
When you're saying top 6, are we talking what just happened as top 6? Because
He means us.
Traditional top 6. Traditional top 6. I know that Arsenal, Spurs, mid-table.
All right. What is the traditional top 6? And the reason why I say that, right onto what Saba said, City only came into the top 6 in 2008, and Spurs only came into the top 6 later than that. So,
but I mean,
Spurs did.
Yeah, but it depends, innit? Like, Spurs are a top, and City are part of that. Whether you like it or not, they are part of it.
When was it? Redknapp. We had got top 4 with Redknapp.
2010. We were getting top 6 under Martin Jol back in 2004. So, but listen, okay, so it's those 16. Let me kick off if that's all right. First of all, I don't think any of them will be sacked. If you had to say one might, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Mourinho because Levy would have to pay him some extortionate amount of. We're talking like 45 million to get rid of him. And Daniel Levy don't like paying that for a player, let alone a compensation. If I had to say one, I would say if Chelsea do not start well and aren't in the top 4, I'm not saying this will happen, but I think then Abramovich might look and go, hang on, I've just given you some of my oil money, and we're not. But other than that, the only one I can see is if United have a bad start, pressure on Solskjaer, and you bring in a big name. But I don't think any of them will. Sorry to sound boring.
There's a few, I think, says one. Zachary spamming Jose. Sadish says Ollie. Alan Madrid says Jose. Ritz says so. There's a lot of people saying Jose Jose is most likely to get sacked, but it's unlikely. Jose isn't making it past December. So
everyone, as I said, so just quickly, my man, just quickly. As I said, people take. Sometimes we've got to add context to it. You've got to take a step back and say, even if Mourinho starts on a shocker, Daniel Levy's got to pay him roughly 45 million to sack him. It's not happening. He will not, 45 million to Abramovich would be nothing. To Spurs, that's our transfer budget. So, I think if people think that Jose's going, they've got to really think again.
Fair enough.
Klopp.
Neeks, you say, is that your honest answer, Neeks?
That's my hope, because it means Liverpool are fighting relegation like his last season at Dortmund.
Man, if it wasn't for David De Gea, you guys would have been relegated years ago. Come on, bro.
See, first of all, David De Gea saves us. Now it's David De Gea Costa. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
No, in all honesty, of course, no. Klopp will leave before he gets sacked.
Did you say Klopp because of the comment in the chat?
I didn't see any comment in the chat.
Okay, big man, just so you know. So you see Zachary in the chat. He's from my community. Bro, this guy's the biggest clown. He's just a straight troll. Right. So this guy will convince you Arteta is the best manager in the league. So I'm just saying, when you read what he's saying, take it with a pinch of salt.
Right. Okay. I see. Okay. Yeah. Klopp is going to flop. I see.
There you go. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I based on history, it has to be Lampard. And again, I'm not predicting that he's going to be sacked. But if one of the big six or top six, whatever, will be sacked, then I think Lampard's the most likely, just because Abramovich is yet to prove to us that he isn't ruthless. They might say behind closed doors, or in public, sorry. Oh, yeah, we're trying to bring through the youth and build a project, blah, blah, blah. But where's the evidence? Jose came in first time, and actually, before that, right, Abramovich came in and Ranieri was the manager. Second in the league and semi-finals of the Champions League. He was sacked. Jose came in, won back-to-back Premier Leagues, FA Cup in his third year, sacked at the start of his fourth season. Then who came in after that? Avram Grant. He didn't stay past the end of that.
Scolari for like half a year.
Scolari came in. He was sacked within the first season. AVB came. Di Matteo came in. AVB came in. Sorry, AVB and then Di Matteo came in. Di Matteo won the Champions League, then the FA Cup, and was sacked about 3 months into the next season. Ancelotti got sacked after winning the double. The season after winning the double. Conte comes, sacked.
Is the point you're making that they like sacking managers? Is that what you're trying?
Yeah, I can't figure this out. What's going on?
I'm surprised Lampard's still there. If we're going to base on history, because he would have been any other manager would have been sacked after last season. And I'm not saying Lampard had a bad season, but top four and no trophy has never been good enough for Abramovich. Because sometimes even top four and a couple of trophies ain't good enough for him. So if he has a bad start, he could easily. What is it? Roman has no sensibility.
None.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Solskjaer will be under pressure if he doesn't have a good start. But we've seen managers at Man United not have good starts, and it comes onto the end of the season, the point where we're mathematically impossible, we can't get Champions League, then Woodward pulls the plug. Because obviously all the Glazers care about is Champions League money. So as long as we're mathematically possible, we can get Champions League, whether it's through the Europa League, if we were to drop into it, for example, or in top four, Solskjaer will be in a job despite pressure from the fans.
Fair enough, Neeks. Fair enough. Rodney, man, what are your thoughts? Who do you think will be likely to be sacked next season, including your manager in the conversation?
Listen, Arteta's not going anywhere, bro. Arteta's not going anywhere. But on the other managers, though, I think if you're just looking at it as like the managers with the most pressure on them, I think Pep is one of the ones that doesn't really get mentioned. I don't know if he'll necessarily get sacked if he doesn't win the league next season or win the Champions League. But if this thing about Messi is true, and Messi comes, and there's no Champions League, there's no Premier League, whether or not he gets sacked or he just leaves. I feel like something could definitely happen there. But in terms of the other managers, yeah, I'd probably say Lampard historically is the one under the most pressure. But I'm interested to see what happens at Man City with the management still.
So this is what Zachary Doherty will throw the derby because he's Arsenal at heart. Yeah, that was it.
Please.
He's not alone. According to Twitter, he's no longer because he renounced it or something like that. I saw the video of it or something because he's now he's a Spurs.
Allegedly.
I get it all day, every day on my Twitter page. Just people that can't have a sensible football conversation. It's like Spurs fans were going, "Do we want Doherty? Doherty grew up supporting Arsenal." What, you think every player that's played for Spurs supported Spurs as a kid? Come on. Yeah. Come on, Jermaine Defoe was an Arsenal fan, still banged in a
Manchester United fan, played for Liverpool and City, you know. So
it's their job. Do you know what I mean? This is their job.
Jamie Carragher's an Everton fan.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and Kevin De Bruyne and Aguero. Well, actually, Man City have no fans, so we're good there.
True Red Man, I think it's to you. Like, who do you think's going to be potentially be sacked next season?
Well, I agree with what Sava said. Where I don't think anyone will get sacked. But if we try and dissect it, firstly, Arteta regarding Arsenal, for the first time since Wenger, you could see an ethos. You can see what Arteta's trying to do. He's trying to get the defense solid so he can push on forward with very limited funds. So I think he deserves more. As in, he will get the longevity he deserves. Sorry, Klopp, no problem. I don't like Pep Guardiola. For me, is one of the best managers I've ever seen. I don't buy this whole fraudiola argument people make. So I don't think he'll get sacked because I think his connection with Man City is too strong. I think they value him too highly for them to be like, all right, mate, there's a P45. And then
who would they replace him with, mate? Do you know, like everyone keeps saying
that means the thing.
If Pep goes, which manager is available of Pep Guardiola's ilk to take over?
Well, it would have been Arteta, but you know he's at a real club now, so.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
I was about something else, you know.
You know, look, I say this respectfully. Saba will agree. Riggs will agree. Every fan base has their like a bunch of bad eggs in terms of fans, right? Liverpool fans have it too, but there's something about Arsenal fans that is just, bro, they're on another level. There's something about Arsenal fans, they're on another level.
Do you know what it is? I'm going to stick up. I shouldn't because I'm Spurs, but I'm going to stick up for Arsenal fans here. I think what's enhanced that kind of viewpoint that you've just said there is Arsenal TV.
Yeah.
You know, I've got loads of mates that are Arsenal fans, and they're all down to earth. They'll be honest about how good they've been or how poor they've been. The problem is because you have those absolute dickheads on that TV show. They are filming themselves watching goals go in. They score a goal and they go, "We're gonna win the league," and you're like, "Mate, you're 8th in the table. Relax." You know, it's made Arsenal look silly. No offense, my man, but it's not helped.
I agree.
All it's helped is that guy's pocket because he's making loads of money.
It seems like you're saying AFTV are kind of controlling the Arsenal narrative, so to speak.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm not saying they're controlling it. What I'm saying is that's the most, from my point of view, that's the most well-known, high volume account on any sort of social media platform. Is Arsenal TV.
Yeah.
And when us as fans, look, when Arsenal lose a game or David Luiz does something really ridiculous, the first thing I'll see on Twitter or Facebook will be, watching Arsenal fan TV tonight, because they know that it won't be a steady reaction. It will be, "Oh my God, everything is brilliant," or "Oh my God, this is shit. Everyone die." Blah, blah. It's like, what? Just relax, lads. So for me, they don't do you any favors. Sorry,
I said Rodney's still deluded. Clearly, if he thinks Arteta.
Let's quickly move on, because I appreciate we're approaching the hour mark, and everyone has got things that they'll be doing. I have no more questions. I'm going to come to the questions in the chat. There is just one final topic, and this is essentially I think the topic that everyone will be interested to know about, and that is the simple answer, like who gets top 4 and who wins the Premier League. You know, because that is ultimately what it's about. It's about who is going to finish top 4, who is going to win the Premier League. And obviously, given what we know now in the position, because obviously that might change in October with other transfers, with injuries, with all the rest of it, I get that. But with what we know now, going into the season, I want you guys to tell me who you think will finish top 4 in your particular order, and obviously include who you think will be the title, you know, winners in this 2021 season.
You know what? I'm putting the pressure on Liverpool in it, because Liverpool have come under this banner for a couple of years where now we're just the underdogs. Now Man City are obviously they're the best team, so we're not expected to do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, well, if you spend 75 million on a defender, and at the time it was a world record fee, and 70 million on a goalkeeper, I know Kepa's an exception to that rule. You expect to be doing some stuff, and you got quality players across the pitch. You know, Fabinho, Keita, Salah, Mane, for example. So I think
Origi.
Who? Never heard of him.
Me neither, to be honest. I couldn't care less.
I think you are champions. You go into the season as champions, defending champions. And a lot of Liverpool fans, it ain't from Liverpool Fan TV, it's just a lot of Liverpool fans have said that, or have attempted to put this Liverpool side, due to the fact they've got 99 points and they won the Champions League last year. Of course, if you look at the pictures on social media, it looks like they won 4 in one season, but of course we know it's not the case. That this Liverpool side is as great as all the other Premier League top teams. So they're compared to Man United's treble winners, compared to Man United's 2008, compared to the Invincibles, Centurions, Chelsea double winning sides. They've compared them to all those sides. What all those sides, other than the Invincibles, what all those sides have is back-to-back Premier League titles, and in Man United's case, 3 in a row. So for me, if you're truly going to be classed as one of the greatest Premier League sides of all time, you have to defend your title. 99 points means nothing to me, because you can win the league with 89 points. You can win it. We won it with 79 in 99. Winning the title is the most important thing. And I think the Liverpool should go into this season under the pressure that they give themselves to prove that they are and defend it. I think Man City always have the pressure, because that's, you know, they've been built for this reason to launch these attacks on the major trophies. But I think for me, Liverpool have to be favourites for the title based on the fact they're coming in as champions. Top 4 for me, Man City, Chelsea. Those two, based on the transfers they've done, the squad they already have, should be second and third. Okay. And I'm going to put Man United 4th at the moment. Arsenal will be challenging, and of course Spurs will be challenging with Jose Mourinho in a full season. Yeah, that's what I think. So Man United 4th, and Arsenal and Spurs pushing for that 4th space.
See, Zachary, man.
I told you. What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
I mean, you know, I mean, the only one is like Rodney's like, actually, you know, So, but let me just quickly introduce JD, because I told you I couldn't find a Man City fan. And here he is. He's finally arrived. We're trying to find you. We can't find City.
What you said? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
What you said, bro?
Your background noise. It's your background noise.
It's your background noise.
Do the intelligent. Sorry about that.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys well.
Okay, cool. As the Manchester City fan, because we struggled to find any, mate, and so thank you for turning up. You know, thank you so much. You're a rare, like, what is it called? Needle in a haystack type of thing. You know, lockdown and everything. There was no lockdown in the Etihad Stadium. That was just standard, you know. So, but as a City fan coming in, you know, just because obviously the fans in the chat, like, just briefly on like what your expectations are for the upcoming season and where you see Manchester City finishing, challenging title, etc.
All right. Hi guys. First thing I have to say, hello guys. We have to be honest here. I know when you talk about Manchester City, if you don't win everything, it doesn't count. That's a big problem with Manchester City and other fans like Manchester United, Liverpool. If you don't win all the trophies, Manchester City is garbage. Yes, I know that. But I would say the expectation this season is not so high because of the defensive problems we do have. And we're struggling to get a right-sided centre back, which I think is rare no. I think if Koulibaly comes in, I can say he will be our most important player. Keep in mind, I love KDB, but he will be the most important player in the squad because he will determine if we can win something or we can lose big games. It's not KDB, you know what he's going to offer. That's the first thing. You get me? So my expectation is all down to if we do sign Koulibaly, not Messi. I know if Messi comes, we're going to be really stuck in attack. But it wins you games at times. But believe me, in big games, it's going to cost you games. So I'm not seeing Messi come in there solving anything. Koulibaly need to come in this club pretty fast. But I still have good expectation of them in the Premier League. You know why? Because you have so many chances to right your wrongs. But in the Champions League, it's going to cost me heavily. But I'm still putting them first or second in the Champions League, in the Premier League. But I don't think we're going to do nothing yet again in the Champions League if we don't sign a defender.
Okay, fine. So just on your, so if you just JD, just give me like your top four predictions. Like, so who do you think wins the league, and then the remaining and the second to fourth?
All right. Here I have a list. It's very close, you know. It's very close because Manchester United signing Van der Beek is you guys really don't know how special that guy is. Remember, I'm here. You know,
I told him.
So I watched him a lot.
JD, for you, I told him how good he is. So
he is just as good as. Believe me, this will sound horrible to you guys, but he's just as good as Pogba and Bruno. But he's more versatile than both. Believe me, because he played CDM, CM, and Cam, and he can play central forward as well in the false nine system. So that will give Manchester United more leg room to change formations, and that will be deadly for Manchester United this season. So I am putting them really in the top three now. And you see if Liverpool will have a shocker because I think Liverpool problem is no. You asked me about my top four. You asked me about my top four, and I'm trying to explain to you guys why I'm making my selection. I don't want True Red to get angry with me, so I have to make sure I'm outline what I'm saying. Klopp stated that he doesn't really want much changes. The problem with Liverpool, you're playing with two fullbacks as your creators. It's always not good because if you know anything about playing football, you have to always have strength through the spine of the team. And creativity is not good with Liverpool in the spine of the team. If you can shut their fullbacks down, playing 3-5-4-3, you're going to force the midfield to play, and they're going to get locked down. Most individuals found that out. So I'm telling you, Liverpool will lost a lot of points if they don't sign Thiago this season. Believe me. So if they don't sign Thiago, I am putting Liverpool at third, below Chelsea and Manchester City. So my top four is Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and United.
Okay. I think that's no, but I can see I can see that though. I can see you're coming from that of that JD actually. That actually makes a lot of sense. I know that didn't make sense, but like you're right. Like you know.
No, because I know you have angry fans. Because believe me, True Red, looking at his face, he's getting angry already.
No, I'm not angry, JD. I'm not angry. What I find funny is the fact that you actually wrote this down. What's the pen doing in your hand, bro? Come on.
No.
Wrote this down. It's like
I'm always checking things. Remember, I'm here doing some things on the computer also, so I have to write things. So you ask me a question, and I want to make it look properly. Because I don't want you to get angry or anyone to get angry. So a good explanation. That's all. I'm very sorry.
Liverpool fans are just a Thiago to Man United away from a meltdown. If Thiago signs for Man United, It's done. Liverpool. You lost Werner already. You wanted Kai Havertz, but you couldn't afford it. If you lose Thiago,
what I want to ask you guys, how is it they can't afford Kai Havertz or Thiago? Thiago costs 30 million. In order to win the Premier League, you get 120 million. And to advance to the finals of the Champions League, that's 78 million. And they are selling players. So how can you not fund a sale of 30 million? How is that possible?
Can you explain that, True Red, and Liverpool fans? How's it?
I'm not a bloody financial accountant. How the bloody hell do I know? No, it's actually a very good point. By the way, JD, when you, it's funny because you started the statement by saying Liverpool would have a shocker, and then you contextualize it. And I don't disagree with anything you're saying. That's why Thiago, or I would love Coutinho back. We need a midfield playmaker, 100%. We need someone who can unlock a defense.
It's going to cost you more than 30 million, so that doesn't make any sense.
Okay. But sense is one thing. You're asking me now, innit? You're asking me.
Oh, so, sorry, bro. Sorry.
Now, I've always said, people talk about the signings Liverpool have made, the investments, Salah, Mane, etc. Bro, these owners, I've said from day one, they're very disingenuous. Remember bloody Andy Carroll, Stuart Downing, bloody Sebastian Cortez, and all these players, they were signed under that whole stats Moneyball based whatever. When a man like Jurgen Klopp comes around, 6'4" German, you either give him what he wants or you move out of his way. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where they are. We're now seeing the true colors of our owners, where like 30 million for them, there should be pocket change. I've got like $30 in my pocket, bro. Yeah, Thiago, there you go, bro. Go on. You know what I mean? Like, so I actually agree with everything JD is saying. And if you look at the Community Shield, Mikel Arteta played the perfect system to stop. Even in the Emirates game, he played the perfect system to stop us. So quickly for my top four, despite all of that, Liverpool will retain the title. But again, this is if City don't get Messi, and this is if City don't get Koulibaly and whatever. Because when JD said Koulibaly is going to be more important than Messi, he's emphasizing how the defense in City needs that much work. He's not saying Koulibaly is better than City. He's just emphasizing the importance of it. So Liverpool first, City second, Chelsea and Man United. Arsenal will be better for sure. And Tottenham, I think it depends, because I don't know if you guys play FIFA, but the one depth drop back bus parking merchant Tottenham are trying to do, bro, I like Bill Shankly said, I draw the curtain. So like
hang on. You were doing so well until you started sounding like an 18-year-old troll talking about FIFA.
I'm sorry.
Like, I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm sorry. Like, come on, bro. Like,
if you're good enough, you can play that deep block on FIFA and get away. Listen, if you're good enough, you gotta have 5 players on the counter attack.
Indeed.
Simon, do you want to come in and say, because there's a trend that no one seems to be mentioning Arsenal or Spurs in this sort of top four right now,
mate. I mean, JD, nice to meet you, man. Look, as a Spurs fan, look, I've already said at the beginning of the show, I think it's going to be really, really tough to get in the top four, because we've not strengthened to the level that the other clubs have. We've made some shrewd signings in Højbjerg and Doherty, but nothing that's going to kind of set the pulse racing, nothing that other fans of clubs like your lot are going to go, oh my God, look who they got. So, I mean, just to go on a few things that have been said, first and foremost, I think it was interesting, what JD said about Liverpool's creativity coming from their fullbacks is right. It does come from their fullbacks. And I think their downfall, if they don't get a more creative type player, could be that does start to now be found out. They've had 2 magnificent seasons. I mean, Liverpool have had any other years, they win the league both years. They had 2 magnificent seasons. They've won the Champions League, they've won the league. The question will be, have the players got the desire after winning all of that? Are they going to become samey? Is it just going to be a lot about the same over and over again? And will teams figure a way to beat them? Or are they going to bring in someone like a Thiago, who's going to change the way they play, which means they can play from the flanks or from deep lying in midfield. Who knows? I think for me, it's going to be Man City. I think are going to win it. I think that they've had a shocker this year in terms of defensively. They've already gone out and bought Ake. They're looking at Koulibaly. If Laporte can stay fit, and they've got Laporte and Koulibaly, for me, and then if they do, I'll put a spin on it with Lionel Messi. I'll put a spin on it. Lionel Messi will come over to this league, and all these people that go, oh, it's the Premiership, it's really tough, the defending's brilliant. It's not. Lionel Messi will dance around defenders here like he's danced around defenders everywhere else, every pitch he plays on. And people say, he'll get fouled. No, you won't. You won't get near him. That's the point. That's why he's Lionel Messi. So if Messi goes...
To be fair, Saba, he's lucky that Stoke are not in the Premier League because a rainy day...
I hate that, man. You know what? Spurs used to go to Stoke and win 4-0. And what makes me laugh... sorry, I'm going off on a tangent just quickly. What makes me laugh when people say this about Lionel Messi is he's the world's best player. I'm not going to have a him and Ronaldo debate. Yeah. Him and Ronaldo, the world's best players, for a reason. Yeah? They're not the world's best player, maybe, or in some people's opinion. They are the world's best players. They don't have problems playing against anybody. You're not telling me that Lionel Messi is going to turn up against defenders like David Luiz, Davinson Sanchez, Harry Maguire, and he's going to go, oh, shit.
I love to see him marking the near post from a Rory
Listen, mate, that's not going to be his game. So Man City are going to win it. I think Liverpool are going to finish second. And then it's between Chelsea and Man United. Both strengthening. Both got not got the greatest managers in terms of knowing how to win a lot or get over the line. But then I think it's going to be a fight for 5th and 6th between Spurs and Arsenal.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks, man. So, Rodney, obviously you haven't spoken in a while. So, again, Arsenal haven't been mentioned in this little conversation, but Arsenal have been doing some good business with Aubameyang. So, I mean, what are your top 4 predictions? Do you see Arsenal getting the top 4, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, obviously I made the joke on Arteta earlier, but to be fully serious, if Arteta starts and finishes this season with El Neni starting in the midfield, then we can't even have that conversation about top 4. It's not on the table. It's not on the table. But making if Messi comes to the Premier League, I'm obviously seeing City being clear of everyone. But just looking at that situation just not existing, just looking at each team progressively developing, the managers of those clubs staying for the whole year, I think it's possible for City to push for the title again if they make those defensive changes. I think for Liverpool, I think there will be a little bit of a drop off in terms of the pace. The pace they've been on for the last 2 years has been insane, and I think Thiago is a big improvement. But I do think there's some areas where you'd probably expect a little bit of a drop in form from some people, a little bit more mistakes from other people. Maybe Firmino won't be as good this season, so I think it will be quite close between.
So you'll have 0 goal at Anfield instead of 1. Okay.
All right, fair enough. But I'd say for the title, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Liverpool for the moment. We'll see what Man City do in terms of the defensive changes on top of Ferran Torres and the other players they've added. For third, based on what H said earlier, the minimum for Chelsea is third, because apparently they've got the best young attack we've ever seen in our lives. So I think based on last season, based on the improvements that we're seeing them have, because they've been strengthened a lot, I would expect them and United at the moment to be the teams that are going for third or fourth. But I think Arsenal could sneak in there if significant signings are made, like a transformative player. If a transformative player is brought in this window, someone like a Thomas Partey with someone like a Hussein Moa, I think definitely it could be like a free horse race for that fourth spot.
Okay.
Ceballos is back.
Ceballos is back, yes, confirmed loan.
Yeah, that's really Like, look, I think even with Ceballos though, it's just there's not enough creativity in the midfield, and I think if Arteta wants to play with 3 at the back, that's one thing. But when you don't have an option, then 3 at the back and 2 midfielders, it's just hard to go to places like Aston Villa, Watford aren't in the league, but Watford last season was stressed both games. Brighton stressed both games. Like you just can't handle like every other team. So I think significant midfield players need to come to Arsenal before top 4 is even a discussion at the moment.
Fair enough, Rodney.
Can I just say something really quickly?
Yeah.
Sorry, just really quickly before you move on. One of the comments we saw there was really interesting.
Yes.
Giorgio B said,
Yeah.
Messi's not 25 anymore. No, but he's 33 and he's the current holder of the Ballon d'Or. So for me, I don't think for Messi's game has never been running about like a madman and needing pace. Messi's game is conserving, getting the ball, and bursts of magic. And if 33 is old, why is he winning the Ballon d'Or at 33? Everyone else must be.
Well, more than that, Jamie Vardy ended the season as top goal scorer, and he's like 33. So
and Lewandowski also.
Lewandowski's 32.
Yeah, we seem to be in this era now where I see Spurs fans saying things like, "Oh no, we don't want to sign this player. He's 28," and I'm like, "Right? What?
You want to sign him? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't sign that centre back. He's 30. So what? Centre backs can go to 30. So what?
Yeah, I think it's obviously long term. I think it depends on what the structure or the ownership of the club is. So Liverpool, for example, and Dortmund's model is buy young players for high resale value. So obviously, Dortmund are not going to spend 50-something million on getting a 29-30 because that's not the model that they do at their particular club. Liverpool, which obviously makes sense. But obviously, for other teams, if you just want to just add general quality and you can potentially get 3 to 4 seasons out of this man, we're not expecting a high resale value of it. Then it makes sense.
Yeah, so I suppose it depends what you want. You know, for a club like Spurs, what we've done for like the last 20 years, we're always buying young players with potential. And that's great, but it doesn't win you anything because unless all those young players come great at the same time, what happens is they come good and they leave, or some don't come good. So if you're always thinking 3, 4, 5 years ahead, you don't win anything. Yeah. A lot of the Chelsea, Man City, United down the years, their success has been buying the top players at the time and not worrying about whether you're having them for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Whereas we'll worry about, can we have him for 8 seasons? You know,
and what you do, you bring in the best young talent, whether it's through your academy or you buy them in, whether it's a Wayne Rooney, for example, or Cristiano Ronaldo, and you add them to players who are 26, 27, 20, who are banging their prime. If you have a team full of, because even you look at the class of 92, people say Ferguson will never get anything like that again. Yeah, but that class of 92 were not it wasn't 11 players in the team starting week in, week out. We had
just quickly, Nicks.
Winners.
Just quickly. Everton have agreed a fee with Watford for Decore. So that means today they've signed Decore, Rodriguez, and Allen.
Is the Rodriguez confirmed? Is that done?
I think that was confirmed yesterday. I think something like that.
Yeah, they're having their medicals now. So it's just breaking on Sky Sports. But
jeez, man,
Ancelotti.
No one's actually mentioned. Just aside, before I go to Nick's always top 4 prediction is because I haven't specifically mentioned Everton for a reason, but I did come across a stat. I know stats are sort of thing, but like Everton have probably been the 3rd heaviest spender. It goes City, United, and it goes Everton. Everton have spent a lot of money in the last, I think it was 5 consecutive seasons.
Big man, can I just say on that? Everton to me they're similar to PSG. You know, when they spend their money, they've made every single wrong football decision you can make. If with Ronald Koeman, you do not sign Ashley Williams from Swansea if you're trying to get in the top 4. You don't pay 50 million for Gylfi Sigurdsson if you're trying to get into the top 4. So now this is the first time where we're like, oh, Everton, So they have spent a lot of money, but for once they're using it wisely now.
Yeah, I just don't think they've got enough goal power.
Yeah,
I agree. Richarlison's a good player though.
there's
And they have Pickford
good
and both.
players. I just don't see. I don't see that they are prolific enough up top. I mean, I like if you're putting a midfield three of Decore and Allen doing all the dog work, and then Rodriguez creating, then Carlson, Calvert. So it looks good. It looks very good. But here he is. But is there enough goals?
I need to take these off.
Oh my Lord.
So basically, this shows dedication, man. I told you, look, I'm wearing this because I was actually on the job because I was filming at Finsbury Park for my piece for the channel that I work for. So this shows dedication. I went and got my phone and look bad. I'm not going to allow any kind of slander or any kind of falsity to be put. So I know why we're rounding up. So please let me not disturb you guys.
We all said Chelsea's winning the title. What do you think?
What?
We all said Chelsea's going to win the title. What do you think?
Yeah.
Don't put that, guys. Monday we ride. On Monday we ride. September 15th. September 15th is. I told you, this could be potentially one of the biggest seasons in Premier League history because the amounts of hype around this Chelsea team. I've never seen. I've been watching football for ages since the early 90s. I've never seen as much anticipation for a team. I've never seen a team being talked about. I've never seen it. The hate Chelsea have been receiving is really ridiculous. There are people that want this team to fail. The guys
2004,
I've never in my life seen as much hate for a team's transfer business as I've seen for this forthcoming season. It's incredible. Hence, this is going to be one of the most talked about seasons in the Premier League in history. I told you, September 15th we live. September 15th we live. I told you, you go. Let me easy. Just chill. You got your boy The Edge. You got your boy Tim. I call him Timmy. So you got Timmy. You got The Edge. Basically, you know, like in Nigeria, basically, right there, in Nigeria, whenever something crazy happens, you say, Kai. So you've got Kai. You've got the boy, The Edge. You've got your boy, Timmy W. So they're
Mason Mount as well.
I call him they call him Tegasalva. I call him TT. So you got your boy
Ross Barkley.
Let's chill on the left. Let's chill on the left. Let's just chill. So it's hyped. It's one of the most. I cannot wait. It's one of the most sexiest teams before and everything. Knicks, you will not lead me down that path of whether we win the title. All I'm saying is that, guys, prepare for some of the craziest football you'll ever see. My Lord in heaven, huge, massive. Liverpool. Watch it. So what's the boy's name? True Red TV. I see the whole familiar thing in the back. Relax, chill. I'm not saying anything. I respect you guys, the defending champions.
I respect you too, brother.
All I'm saying is let's live, because I told you last season was a taster. Last season was a taster. This season, you're going to see something. And I don't know what you're going to see, but you're going to see something. You're going to see something. Okay, you're going to see something. Okay, at the wheel.
With all due respect.
Look at what the people want to do. What did you do? You got to the semi-finals of the CL. What did you do? You didn't do anything. So how good can it really be? Spurs, what's up, baby? I know Uncle Mo is the guy. I know Uncle Mo is that guy and everything. Harry Kane, have you ever scored in an FA Cup final? Have you ever scored in a CL final?
No.
Best striker in the world.
It's all coming out.
Arteta has about one or something. Chelsea just doesn't count.
Take a breath. Take a breath. You're going to stop breathing if you don't.
Was fully fit. Chelsea would have lubricated that team. But the moment Sick went to us, say, fine, take that FA Cup. We are moving on to bigger things. So that's what I'm saying.
Right. HH, just quickly.
I don't know why you want me to react that, because he's not going to be the keeper. I don't know why you're putting that. Who will be your keeper though? Who will be your keeper? You're not linked to any keeper though.
What?
You have a Caballero or you can't afford 8 million for Oblak to come.
Yeah, I got a keeper for you. He's in Turkey right now, but you could take Loris Karius. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Let me. So right, okay. Savi wanted to make a point.
Oh, so I was just going to say, it's funny. Like, first of all, if you're going to say, has Harry Kane ever scored a goal in an FA Cup final? He has to play in an FA Cup final to be able to score in an FA Cup final, first and foremost, right? That's not his fault. He's the World Cup top goal scorer at the last World Cup.
Oh, my. Panama.
Right?
Panama.
Doesn't matter. Listen, Facts. Listen, hey, Jake, right? Listen, you have some very out there views. I respect that. But if anyone doesn't think Harry Kane is world class, it's just ridiculous. He's played like 250 games, got 200 goals.
No, Simon, it's very simple. Until he scores the winning goal in a CL semi-CL final, FA Cup semi or FA Cup final, he's not yet world class. He is he's a damn good goal scorer.
So is Lucas Moura world class?
As your boy, as Aguero or Bambi,
There's so many players who haven't done that.
At the same time. He can. He waits at the door. He can come to the. He can come to the room. And everything. Just check the pulse. Don't sit at this table.
Jesus Christ. Is he going to let anyone talk?
Like Tammy Abraham.
Red Devil.
Chill.
Red Devil. What I wanted to ask is, what do you define as world class for Harry Kane? I just want to ask that because you have certain criteria as when we're playing football that we would have classed as a world class footballer. Because the problem what I have with Harry Kane is he doesn't have much speed and he doesn't use his intelligence to the highest to find spaces on the field. Look, listen to what I'm saying. He has to have someone that to create for him. That's my problem here with Harry Kane. So look, listen to me. Listen, because we watch them and we try to detail it as much. Harry Kane, most of his goals comes from people creating for him and he gets in his advantage position. We have to be real here. Just relax, bro.
Let me
explain to you. Look, when we played football, because I played football at a high enough level to know about a clinical striker. He's a poacher, very highly rated poacher. You have to give him his respect. You have to give him his respect.
He's not.
No, when I said poacher,
JD, finish your point, and then Sav and Neeks. Okay, just finish.
Yes, maybe I said the wrong word, poacher, but he's a very good finisher in the 18-yard box. You can give him that extra advantage, but he's just not as world class as what you think. Because the difference with world class, who you put on your world class barrier? You put Messi, Ronaldo, and who else as attacking players?
I'm gonna be honest. Messi and Ronaldo are on another level.
Yeah.
Leave them.
Okay. Would you put Neymar there?
I'm going Neymar. I'm going Lewandowski. I'm putting Aguero.
Mbappe.
I will put Mbappe for the fact that he's done it in the World Cup. He's done it in the Champions League.
Very good. All right, great. Look,
that's for you,
all of those guys have.
I put Harry Kane and I put Aubameyang.
Harry Kane. Oh, you put Harry Kane in it.
Guys. Sure, go back, Sava, because obviously.
No, I just wanted to finish my point, and then I will let Sava finish.
Okay,
the
fine.
Different, excluding Harry Kane out of that list, every one of those guys can create for themselves. I just believe that if the pace of the game is very fast, Harry Kane seems to get lost in the game always. I just always saw it. I just can't understand why. He will come up with a brilliant goal here. Don't get me wrong. He will come up with a.
Jay, so
am I lying? Savvy? Am I lying? You didn't see the same thing as me.
I'm going to be really honest. Everything you've just said there couldn't be further from the truth.
Okay. Fair enough.
Harry Kane, first and foremost, hardly any of Harry Kane's goals are poached. Right?
No, I said I didn't use the right word. I was talking about his physical attributes, where he can use to bully players down and get a goal. He's good at doing that. He will clinch ball off the defenders and finish. He's very good at doing that. That's why I said he's a poacher. So I just used the wrong word there. But he's a good finisher. That's what I'm trying to say. If you leave him one-on-one, he will finish most of the time. Okay. That's what I was trying to say.
He's not a good finisher.
You don't think so?
He's
You agree with me.
Let's have a speak. Okay, Sarah, go and speak.
First and foremost, Spurs as a team, we have next to little creativity in our team.
Ooh.
Right? We have next to little. Hang on. We don't have a playmaker, right?
No. Yeah.
We don't have a playmaker. Our wingers, other than Hong-Min Son, might get 3 or 4 assists a season.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Kane creates most of his goals from coming deep, collecting the ball, and most of his goals are from outside the area where he picks it up and bends it around the keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're telling me that you've watched Spurs, right, you cannot tell me that Harry Kane is not intelligent and doesn't know how to use the space. That's his strength. Hang on, let me finish.
You're misinterpreting what I said in
I've mute JD. Sava, speak. I've had to mute JD. I'm going to mute you. Let Sava just speak because you've spoken, JD. So
listen, and you guys know I'm not biased. If someone says to me a Spurs player I don't like, I will say they are crap. Right? This isn't about being biased. Harry Kane has played something like 304 games in his career and has 215 goals. Right? He's the only player in the last the last 10 years, 12 years that's outscored Messi or Kane in a single season, other than Lewandowski this year.
Messi or Ronaldo.
Messi or Ronaldo, sorry. Who did I say?
Kane.
Messi or Ronaldo, right? Apart from Lewandowski this year. Yeah? He won back-to-back golden boots when he was fit. Yeah? I have hope. That's a fact. I don't know why you're shaking your head. He won back-to-back golden boots in the Premier League, right?
Okay, yeah.
Harry Kane has scored for 6 seasons in a row. He's got over 20 Premier League goals. The only player to have done that, right? Harry Kane finished about 5th in the goal-scoring charts, even though he missed 4 months of the season. Right? Sorry, what you're saying, you do not watch Tottenham Hotspur play football because that man creates everything for himself. So I'm sorry. There's players at Spurs I will tell you are crap. But Kane is genuinely world class, and every club in world football would want him up front. Every club.
Can I say one thing?
Okay. I'm going to pause on this Kane because this is the Premier League as was with Kane. So I think obviously we've got extensive on whether he's world class or not. So I do want to kind of bring it in the topic. I know obviously there's heated opinions on both sides, and I still appreciate that. So, but obviously we're now I think an hour and a half in, and I imagine like a lot of people are tired, so we just want to try and round things off a bit. So thank you HH and JD for your contributions. I appreciate it. So as we just kind of get everything back to a close, I'm going to ask people in the comment section to actually just post some of their questions. I think Neeks, you haven't given me a top 4 prediction yet, have you?
I gave it first.
You get first. So I'm so HH, after your Chelsea, clearly you think that Chelsea are going to win the league with the signings, but would you be able to kind of elaborate?
Relax. I never said that.
Well, the way you were banging on, buddy, what other impression did you give?
No. I said things pop off September 15th. That was my message. September 15th, things pop off. That's what I said.
So what would be
that's however you want to interpret it.
Yeah, so, for sure.
What would be your top 4 predictions? Who do you think is going to finish in the top 4?
Well, Red Devil, that is an amazing question. An amazing question deserves a supreme answer. Now, look, JD, look, my friend, can you please look? I'm not cracking any jokes here.
Okay,
Red Devil, that is one of the best questions you've ever asked. So I would answer it like I fully thoroughly. See, the thing here, Red Devil, is this. I'm going to give you 2 answers.
Okay.
So, as I said again, Lampard, you have a team. So, therefore, I want a trophy. So, one of my answers, don't take this as Bible. This is just an answer just throw out there. So, one of my answers is Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham. Now, don't take that answer as Bible. That answer is if one of the trophies Lampard brings me is the Premier League. If it isn't, and it's another trophy, you see, Red Devil, this. Okay, let's assume that City don't get Messi. Let's just assume that all the teams stay as they are and so forth.
Yeah, they were going to
Liverpool. I believe Liverpool will defend their title. I think that people say I still think they will defend their title. I think City will come second, Chelsea third, and I do believe Tottenham will get that fourth position.
Okay, that's because I think I don't think anyone really has said Tottenham coming fourth. So could you kind of elaborate on like, not because of any disrespect to Tottenham, but like why you think that over United?
As I said again, for me, I think
because Harry Kane.
Let me land, man. The guy asked me a question, man. Let me land.
Very good point.
It's
Very
in.
good point.
It's in. I beg.
Go on, HH. Finish your point.
So basically, my thinking is, first of all, Oli is a fraud. Like, people that think this guy is a savant or anything, basically, it's going to be proven that this guy isn't as good as people think he is. They may win like a League Cup or anything. People will realize, bro, all this, because you scored a goal in 1999, you're now this. He will get found out this season.
A treble goal, by the way. A treble. It was a treble goal. There we go. Go on.
Let me land.
Go on.
So, but my thing with Tottenham is Mourinho is my guy. So after watching these 3 episodes, afterwards, please, can you thank you, Pete. I feel that Mourinho, like, he didn't take over from the beginning of the season. He has a summer and he has a full season. Okay. And I always believe in Mourinho's his experience and how good he is as a manager. And I do believe that he's just going to hone in and grind out results. It may not be pretty. You may get some 1-0, some dirty wins, some nice wins. But I have more faith that, given the summer, he now knows the team a lot better. I feel that Tottenham will be more consistent and more business-like in getting our results, more so than United will be. United, of course, have the more threatening attackers and everything. But if we're comparing Mourinho to Solskjaer, I'm taking Mourinho. Remember, Mourinho, he took over halfway through the season. He's never winning a trophy with Tottenham. That's never happening. But I do believe that this season they will get that fourth position ahead of United. And look, Rodney, man, Arsenal. I mean, look, Arteta, he's doing fine and everything, man. But look, man, I mean, I can't give you that top 4 thing and everything. I mean, come on, like Rodney. I mean, Chelsea, man, you looking at that same baby now. Come on, man, you don't know what it is, man. I mean, you couldn't really dance with the kids. You dance with the kids, man. You know what I'm saying? I told you, that's why I'm wearing blue.
Is Timo Werner really better than Aubameyang? Is Timo Werner really better than Aubameyang as a number 9, though? Is he really, you know?
No, I've always said this. Aubameyang is a full world-class striker. That whole tirade that Sava went on, go to Wikipedia. Most of the stuff that Sava said isn't even true. So I don't even know where he even got some of those facts from. So I will not sit in twice, but say, half of the stuff this guy is saying isn't even true. So my thing about it is Aubameyang is a full world-class striker, but that isn't enough if the team isn't functioning well. Arsenal can be you know what? If you push me, Red Devil, if you push me, I might say Arsenal 5th, United 6th.
Don't push him.
Don't. I think he's already been pushed enough. Right. Let me round off. Let me round off, guys. Just quickly questions in the comments. Sorry, and then we'll round off. Sorry, Akil. Just as a question. Sorry, question. There was a question from Ritz to Neek. Sorry, from a rival's point of view, what signings do you think that Liverpool need to make?
I think for me, there's 2 important signings. Probably one more important than the other. A creative midfielder is probably number 1 for me, and the fact that Thiago is available for about £25 million, 30 million euros is a steal, even at 29. I say even. I don't know why I have to say that, but at 29, his experience, his quality will do wonders for that Liverpool midfield. Gives them a different way to create an attack as opposed to just through their fullbacks. And I think a wide forward as well, because Salah and Mane have remained fit for the last 2-3 years, and they play at such a high intensity that it's risky to only have them 2 really as your options for wide forwards. Origi comes on and plays out wide, but he ain't a wide forward. I don't even know if he's that great a backup striker. But the way that Liverpool play, the striker doesn't need to be the main goal scorer. So you need a backup wide forward who can also get goals. And that's why getting Timo Werner would have been such an important signing, but they missed out. So I think, attacking midfielder or creative midfielder and a wide forward are the main two. A centre-back wouldn't go amiss because Lovren's gone. Matip could be going, but he's had his injury issues. And Gomez, he's good. Gomez is good, but he's not certified yet. So I would say that's third on the list if you have to go that far.
Another quick question. As some guy just says, lads, can you please talk about? So I seem that's going to True Red. Is Thiago going to Liverpool now? Is that a thing? Why haven't they signed them? What's going on?
I think it's a mentality thing. So let me explain it if I can. If there's news Thiago's coming, right? You wait, and let's say on the final day we signed Thiago, it gives the impression to Liverpool fans, oh wow, we've actually done something. Whereas in reality, it's taken us 2 months to sign one player, kind of like Bruno Fernandes with Man United. You see what I'm saying? They waited till the very last day to give the illusion, we've done something. So, and because our owners are really, really stingy, so Thiago will come. I've always known he was going to come. And he's definitely what we need. But we do need another centre back. But I mean, Thiago, I don't think it's enough. We need like another playmaker. Like, he doesn't have the best injury record. So when we come up against, the bus parking Arsenal or Lampard, like the Super Cup, Liverpool against Chelsea last season, Chelsea were by far the better team. So Lampard knows how to play against Liverpool too. So we're going to need more than Thiago. We'll see what happens.
So can I ask a question?
Oh, yes, HH, go on.
So this is to True Red. If it is true that Wijnaldum is going to join Barcelona, will you miss him? Or if you get Thiago, you wouldn't miss him if he does join Barcelona?
So if you look at it, Henderson, Fabinho, and Wijnaldum they're just there to run around like a bunch of dogs and get the ball back. They're not expected to create. So we would lose a lot of the physical aspects of what Gini does. There's certain times where Gini Wijnaldum, this guy will do, and like the way he nutmegged Harry Maguire, like he'll do that once every 5 games. He'll have this outstanding game, and then I won't see the guy for like 2-3 weeks. So will we miss him? Yes, but it's not the end of the world. It's like if Chelsea were to get rid of Jorginho or even Kovacic, it's a disappointment, but it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing.
A quick question. HH, what are HH's thoughts on Kepa going against Messi?
Zara, you see, I think I'm speaking English. I'm pretty sure that I'm speaking English. So I will try and say this a lot slower. Kepa will not be Chelsea's goalkeeper in the new season. I don't know how many. So that question is null and void. It's not happening. Also, as well, by the way, bro, the way that Bartomeu is moving, that's another question I wanted to actually ask the whole panel. The way things are going, I think Bartomeu is saying, bro, you better sit your hobbit's ass down in this probably Barcelona. You're not leaving this whole place. So I don't even think that's because he's obviously implying that Messi is obviously going to be joining Man City. That may not be happening. So Messi may be either forced to stay at Barcelona or he may just go on strike for the next year. So don't just assume Messi to City isn't a done deal. It is not a done deal. It's far away from actually being a reality.
Correct, bro. Because what I was reading before, they are actually saying that they are trying to force him to take a 2-year contract for 150 million, so they could bring it down from 700 million in order for him to get the signing to Manchester City. So it's possible that they could sign him, but they need something back for him because it's just a slight confusion, It wasn't a big deal, They are just playing the situation, La Liga and Barcelona. Because look, the problem was he should have left at the end of the season, but the end of the season came late due to the virus. But Messi is just trying to say, listen to me, I stayed loyal, play the end of the season for you guys, and then you're going to tell me that June 1st was the last date I should have left? That makes no sense.
The thing about it is, I understand Barcelona and La Liga, they can't afford to lose this man. They can't afford to lose this man.
Yes, because of TV rights. Because of TV rights.
Sorry to interrupt you guys. there's just a question coming just because this one to Sava, which is a point. Sorry, not this one. Sorry. But I actually think this is. I mean, maybe I'm asked, but I actually think this is
not that one. I was laughing at your clown.
Oh, I think this is an interesting point. So because obviously Spurs did sign him as their third. We've seen what Kepa is. I think that I would phrase this as more of: do you think that Joe Hart is a good contribution to the Spurs squad? And do you think he can give you more than, say, for example, Kepa's given Chelsea?
Wait. Actually, before Sava asks us, Sava, if you have Joe Hart, give us Gazzaniga or someone like that who actually knows how to play keeper. You have like 4 keepers right now. What the hell?
Let's explain the signing. Maybe that's
right. Okay, so he was brought in because we let, oh God, his name's gone. This is how little he played. God, what's his name? Who's just gone? My mind's gone blank.
Oh, Dutch guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Carl Walker-Peters, right?
Oh, Michel Vorm?
Vorm.
Look, we let Vorm go on a free, and we needed to sort out the English quota. So Joe Hart coming in as a backup keeper as part of the English quota makes complete sense. I think what's brilliant about the signing of Joe Hart isn't necessarily that he's going to be number one, because he's not. Hugo Lloris is our number one. I think that you will see Joe Hart probably play in the Europa League games to give Lloris a rest, and I think he'll be captain. But what you can already see from the friendlies that he's played is he's a captain. His voice on the pitch, and this is what Spurs have not had for years. We don't have leaders. We don't have anybody that can get stuck in and a positive voice in the dressing room. Someone who's won a league. I mean, he's okay. He's okay.
Unpopular opinion. I think Gazzaniga's on par with Luis. Is that unpopular? Is Luis
with Hugo Lloris?
I don't think. Bro, when
Gazzaniga's got too many
Lloris
mistakes.
has made some big time mistakes. He made a mistake in the World Cup final.
I swear you're not watching.
How did you make a mistake in the World Cup final?
If you said Lloris has been better than that kid, believe me, man. Believe me, bro. You're not watching your own team.
I'm not saying
believe me, I am sure now.
Sorry, hang on.
Believe me, I am sure, bro.
Hang on, let me
have to admit it.
Okay, Jenny, go. Sava, go on.
Sorry, I just want to be really clear. I've got people in this group chat now telling me that Gazzaniga is a better goalkeeper than Hugo Lloris.
No. Farm. We're talking about
I never said that.
No. What was your point about?
So no, my point is
form like current. I don't know, last year or so. I don't
know. What's the point? I'm struggling to see what the point was about Gazzaniga and Vorm.
Well, no, I was asking what about Gazzaniga, because I think he's better than Joe Hart. Is what I was going to say.
I mean, with regards to the problem is with Gazzaniga is he's okay, he's steady, but Hugo Lloris will pull off saves that Gazzaniga never would. The problem with Hugo Lloris was, especially the first half of the season, he was making a lot of mistakes. Mm-hmm. Since Mourinho's come in, what Mourinho's done with Hugo Lloris, which is how I know I do watch my team, is he's cut out what Poch asked Lloris to do, which was that playing out from the back, being comfortable on the ball. And Hugo Lloris is not that. He's a world-class shot stopper, but he's not like an Edison or an Alisson where he could play it out. And that's where he gave the ball away a lot. Now, Mourinho doesn't ask him to do that playing out. It's get rid of the ball. And he's looked so much better since the break. So much better.
This is also a fair point as well, like which I confess I forgot, like because it was actually required in the part of the year. So that's a fair
point. Drink as well.
Oh well, yeah. We won't talk about that incident. We won't.
Cheeky boy.
The kids are watching, So like, obviously, you
don't drink and drive, kids. Do not.
Don't drink and drive. Last round off. Will Man U and Chelsea make it a 4-horse race, or are City and Liverpool still too far ahead?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
There's never been a 4-horse race in the Premier League. I don't think I've ever seen a 4-horse race.
I don't think we're going to see it this year, Nick, either.
3-horse race. At most,
3 hours.
Basically, Leicester City. That was Leicester, Tottenham, and Arsenal.
Yeah, that was 3. And then we had a 3-horse in 2015.
Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea.
Nick, what do you consider to be when people say a 3-4-horse race? Like, for example, even as a Spurs fan, I'll say this: the year we came second, we were never really near them. It was never really a title race. Do you know what I mean? They were well above us. We just finished second. So for me, I don't know what we consider a title race to be. You know, was this year Man City weren't in a title race, were they?
No. And we weren't in one when Man City got 100 points, for example. Yeah. I think you have to have a mathematical chance of winning the Premier League with
in 5 games.
5 games. 5 games.
Oh no! Tottenham were no. Like, that season was a 3-horse race that then became a 2-horse race. For a few months, it was Arsenal, Tottenham, and Leicester City generally had a chance to win.
I think it was Sabbath.
One at a time. Okay, so True Red first, and then go around.
I think what Sabbath is just trying to say is he himself didn't consider it a title race per se. Or am I wrong, Sabbath?
No, he said this. Which was the year after the Leicester one, wasn't it? Or the year
I think, True Red. You've got it bang on. I think sometimes what we do in football is we go, oh my God, there were someone finished second. It was a 2-horse race. For me, because the year Leicester won it, Spurs were always 2 to 3 wins behind them. We were there was never a point where it was, well, if we win today, we can take them. A title race for me is like Liverpool and City. Not this season, the year before,
97,
and the year United and City that Aguero scored against. That's a title race.
That's a proper title race,
Proper title race, So this year, I don't think Chelsea or United will be in a title race. I think Liverpool and City are too strong. They're too strong. Only in my opinion.
I think it's going to be a title race this season, a 3-horse title race. I think Chelsea will be there because Liverpool will drop off a little bit and close the gap, because I still have them as potential challengers as well. If not winners, I give them that respect. But I just believe that the Thiago signing is very much important, because this season will go down. The teams that will be affected this season is the teams that can change with variety of positions and formations and positions. So I think the only team that can do so is Manchester United with that Van der Beek signing. They can transform their squad. Chelsea, 100%. Double H, you should back your team because they have so many formations can play this season. You should just come out and stand up firm. Don't wait until after season, then you can jump up and beat your chest. You understand me? They are the best.
I know how this. You're not going to trick me. You're not going to trick me into Chelsea happening a horrible season. September 15th. What you want me to do is make lofty claims. Then Gatlock or someone will then clip this and then say, "Oh, remember when you said Chelsea would win it by 15 points in April?"
No such thing as bad publicity.
You have to be look. Versatility will change this season, because that's what I saw all the coaches buying. They are buying players that can play in multiple formations and multiple positions as well. You understand me? So I think that will win.
Can I say I agree with you? I just think that the difficulty is City and Liverpool are there. It's going to have to click very, very quickly for Chelsea to be in a title race. That's my only concern with Chelsea. Is I'm not doubting the caliber of the players they've bought, but from day one, can they integrate all 5 or 6 of those players and go?
So I mean, basically, to Sava's point, I think the issue is that to make up that gap that Liverpool and City have created in just one season is very difficult, because again, that's basically consistency comes with a squad and particular players you can always rely on to come good for a large part of the season consistently. So obviously for Liverpool, they have the squad, they have the team, but you have the solidity of Van Dijk and expectancy, and you've got the goal scoring of Salah. Man City, you have a system that works that people can always go to. You have the consistency and the effectiveness of a De Bruyne and a Sterling. So because I told you, like, the gap for the past few seasons between Liverpool City and thinking that's vast. So you have to make up 15, 16, 18 points in one season ain't easy, you know. And also remember, the issue with Liverpool is
I don't want to cut you, but I want to advance on your point. Here, look, me and you watch most of the games this season. We are sure of that. Liverpool had 11 decisive decisions by VAR this season, gave them how much points? So if you could turn those over, it wouldn't be so close. It wouldn't be so close. So you have to always keep VAR in check as well. It can go for Chelsea this season, and then they blow it everyone.
But CJDC, my thing about this is that I believe that you make your own luck. I just think that I don't even look at the whole VAR thing. I think Liverpool just honed into winning. They just honed into winning. And for me, I just still believe that. See, the reason why Liverpool should be worried is they've not really made any key decisive signings. You must always say, look at Man City now. Koulibaly, boom, he's in. They want to sign him, and who knows what they're holding about Messi. Like, and also, trust me, anybody who's played Football Manager will know. After you win a league, if you don't sign anyone, the algorithm will screw you over. Trust me. Just try Football Manager after winning the league, and don't buy anyone the next season. You won't win the league because algorithm no screw you.
This.
You know
this.
They didn't sign anyone.
Can I ask a favour? Can I ask a favour from anyone? Because if I answer it, it's because I'm Spurs, right? Someone in there in the chat is called Spurs Are Life. He hates me because I don't think Spurs are the best team in the world. Can you please answer his question as to why Spurs won't win a league? I mean, for me, it's really bloody obvious. But can you guys, as fans of other clubs, please explain to him why Spurs aren't talked about as title winners?
Okay. So let me think about the angle he wants to come out from, and I think let me define this. So I believe the angle he's coming from is, hey, Mourinho has won at every club he's been at, so maybe Mourinho can find something to win it at. For me, I think first of all, not even looking at all the other teams, I think Tottenham are missing a very key kind of winning mentality. You need to have a certain core and psychology about it to win. Leicester City, that happens once in a lifetime.
But they were still
in a lifetime, because when last did something like Leicester City ever happen in a major league? I can't remember.
Not in Forest.
But then when the hell was that? Yeah. So but also as well, like, you have to look at the game has changed. You see, can Tottenham win the league in 95, 94? There's a chance. In 2020, where teams and tactics have now so far advanced, and we're now seeing teams get 100 points, 98 points, 97 points. The benchmark has risen to such a high level that right now, 2020 going forward, especially with the amount of money guys can now spend on teams, coaching, scouting, and everything, the level of consistency teams can tap into is on a whole other level. So it's far more difficult for Tottenham to win in this modern day and age than it was back in the day. So yeah, it's just nice. It's not a realistic thing.
Yeah, for me, can I just say?
Okay, yes, Sal, and this last question before we round off, because this guy wants me to address his question, but go on, Sal. Sorry, quickly.
Sorry, just going to say, look, I mean, a lot of Spurs fans, they'll read me on Twitter and they'll go, "Oh my God, you hate all our players, you hate the chairman, you hate this." I think we have to be realistic. You know, it's all well and good saying Mourinho's won wherever he's been, and I love that he's won wherever he's been. But Mourinho's never had a squad like this to try and win something with. You know, you don't win a league with one striker in your squad. You don't win a league when you don't have a single playmaker in your squad. You don't win a league when you've got players like Sissoko, Winks, Aurier, Sanchez, Lamella. You know, they're not Lucas Moura. These are not title-winning players. Yes, you've got your Kane. Yes, you've got Toby Alderweireld, Heung-min Son, but it's not enough, is it, to perform at that level for a season? You know, it's a lot. And you know, in the comments he's saying United, but yeah, he won a cup with United. He didn't win the league with United because City were a canter. So could we win a cup? As I said earlier, possibly, but we're not winning a league. Jesus Christ. I'll give you all £1,000 if Spurs win the league this year.
Okay, even I'd rather they not win it than win the grand, to be honest.
To be honest, anyone but Liverpool, because they're closing in on 20. And
no. Wait, but let me say this: if Mourinho leads Tottenham to win the league, let's end the discussion in terms of greatest managers of all time.
Agreed.
Let's end that discussion, right? Because that's, for me, we'll be like, guys, that's management. You know, because actually, because I'm such a Mourinho fan, it would be amazing if he does it, but realistically, I mean,
he does it at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, that would be an epic story. You know, like
that would be. That's actually a good context. Yeah,
is that the final game?
I don't know. I can't remember. I thought I read the fixtures.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
But Red, I think you're talking about the idea of it anyway.
Yeah,
as
the
a
idea.
concept. Yeah.
That would be a horror story.
Someone there has made the point. Spurs need major investment. Without that, you don't win titles. Sorry, no one wins a title without major investment. And everyone will just say Leicester, but as HH said,
an exception. Yeah.
it's an anomaly. All the big teams struggled. They were all going for a rebuild, and now you've got some very strong teams, and Spurs aren't going to... We might step over one of them, maybe, I don't know, but to step over all 4 or 5 of them, it's not happening.
Neeks, you said you need to head off. Neeks, can you just quickly address this point before we said you have to go? And this is the last question. Last question. Do you think the league's going to be... Essentially, what's going to be the impact of the pandemic or the situation, do you think, on this upcoming season, and how that affects football like that?
I think what the big... Well, we're seeing a big impact already in the transfer market in terms of who can do business and who can't, or who's struggling to. So that could have a continued impact if we go into January and there's certain teams within like if Chelsea's within touching distance, Abramovich has no problem shelling out another 50 million if it means they're going to win the league, whereas Liverpool are unlikely to do that, for example. But I think what a bigger impact would be if they agree, which they're renegotiating, to have 5 subs. And if you do that, you're going to see a bigger gap between the bigger sides and the smaller sides. And we saw that in the post-lockdown period, where the bigger sides who were able to make those 5 substitutions and bring on player after player after player, they pulled away from the likes of Wolves, the likes of Sheffield United, and we saw, well, Leicester were already in the downward trajectory, but it didn't help at all. So the sides with bigger squads, i.e. the bigger / better teams, will create a bigger gap between themselves and the rest of the Premier League due to the COVID, if they bring back the 5 subs, which I think they actually should, not because I support a big club, but the fact that we barely had a pre-season. And if we're talking about injuries going into a European Championship at the end of the season, I think it will be very, very foolish not to have 5 subs if we haven't had a proper pre-season.
Okay, thanks, Sneaks. If you have to head off, man, then Chief, that's thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts. Really appreciate it. You take care of yourself and see you later, Chief. So yeah, just anyone else, just as before we round off, what do you guys think will be the impact of this, obviously this situation on the upcoming season? Maybe personally for your clubs, like what's going on?
If I can say, just to reiterate, I'm actually in America. It seems like most of you guys are in England or in Europe. So I don't have access to go to the stadiums directly. Okay, I've actually gotten used to no fans, fake crowd noise, and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's like it is what it is. I don't like it. I want the fans in there. Anfield 12th man, it's a big deal for Man City. Obviously, not as the same as it always is. But as do I want 5 subs? Probably not, because it's not like Liverpool have any squad depth anyway. So I think the way they've handled everything has been great. I think the way the post-COVID football world, it could be a lot worse.
Hey, Rodney, you haven't spoken for a while. Like, what are your thoughts on this whole thing on the Premier League, Arsenal, etc.?
Yeah, sorry, I have some background noise because of my neighbours. But basically, I think with the COVID, what's interesting is from a coaching perspective, I think it's really opened up the game because the players can actually hear the manager. And I think if they keep doing those little water breaks, I've seen like the game like a lot of the Arsenal games, it feels like they changed massively, like between those quarters, that are separated by the water break. So I think it's one of the ones for us where we've got like quite a young team that's still learning, taking a lot from the manager that we can really benefit from. If we kind of continue sort of the water breaks, no crowd or limited crowd, and we're quite our back line like has a lot of.
So I want to interrupt you, Rodney, but here's the thing: is that something that people actually want to see? Do people want to see? Because obviously in American sports, and obviously true in America, like you have kind of 4, stoppage, mini stoppages, etc. in basketball, etc. And obviously that's not really in quote British sports, football, and whatever. So is that clearly, as Rodney said, that's given some teams an advantage in terms of passing on information from the manager, organizing tactics, etc. Is that something that you feel should stay in football and has been a benefit to football, or should it ruins?
For me, I always believe. For me, I'm not a fan of the whole 5 subs thing and all that stuff. But I get why they needed to do it. The beauty about football, and the reason why I love the sport so much, is the difficulty. It's everything that is built into football is to make it difficult. Hence why we love the sport so much. Like for me, like NBA is probably my second favorite sport, but I can never love it as much as I do football. And the things that frustrates me in the NBA is what I love about football, because the whole thing about 3 subs, less time and everything means that when you make every sub you make must count. That's 50 minutes that you have. That's crucial. So there's no. I remember there was one game, even several games in this restart where after the break the game changed. If you didn't have that break, that's the other team would have won. But that break was crucial because you stop the ebb and flow and you can give key instructions for that team. They come in and it's a totally. I think it was an Arsenal game or something where like after the break, Arsenal then gained the advantage. So for me, I don't want it to stay because you know what the thing is? It's a slippery slope. Okay, 5 subs. Or let's have more breaks. Or let's put an ad in here. Remember, we are dealing with the biggest sport in the world. Fact. It is the biggest sport in the world. And my fear with football has always been advertisers are waiting for the opportunity to put ads in game. And for it to now look more and more, because the amount of viewership you will get if you have an ad during an interval or an injury break is far more than what you get during halftime. Because you have millions of people all watching that Clasico, millions of people watching that Arsenal game, watching that United game, watching that Bayern game. So I don't want a slippery slope.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. Anyone else just want in on this the impact?
I think it's made it a level playing field from the sense that with no home fans or away fans, there's none of that. Oh, it's going to be difficult to play away this week, or so and so are really good at home because of their fans. Now, there's 2 ways to look at that. You could say, well, a team like Norwich, desperately needed their fans, so that could. I'm not saying they wouldn't have gone down anyway, but they desperately needed it. But now what you're going to see is the team with the most quality will win. Forget the atmosphere and everything. It will just be the team with the most quality. So a team like Man City will just turn up and they will win their games, as will Liverpool. There'll be none of that.
Actually, real quick, Sarah, just for anybody, because just on several points, but anybody who's played football, like even when you played football in school, isn't there such a thing as pitch familiarity? Because whenever I played, let's say, a school away, I just felt a bit like, I don't know this pitch too well. But whenever I played, like, let's say, on my school grounds, you feel more on top because I know the pitch so well. And psychologically, you just feel a bit more natural than the travel on. This patch of grass and everything feels differently. So your brain just works a bit differently on a patch of grass you don't know as yours.
The better players, though, that won't affect them. The better players will turn up and do their job. In my opinion, I think it's made it more of a level playing field. Obviously, we need to get the fans back in. I think they've done it really well. It's weird. I don't like the 5 subs. I don't like the water breaks. But other than that, the fact that they've got it going again, finished it. But this season's going to be really difficult. They're cramming so many games into a short space of time, it's gonna you're going to see a lot of burnout, a lot of injuries this year. I think.
Well, that was my only thing with these types of keeping these things. My argument, the whole thing is that obviously the season's being started late, and as Savas rightly said, they're going to be, as a fans, and we obviously this is a fan, Chums as fans, from our perspective, I think I agree with everyone here. As obviously a coach, and obviously the coaches that are going to be under pressure, if you're now in a situation where you've now got a league that is a lot more shorter, where it's going to be a lot more games, you're still going to have League Cup, FA, and all these different things, Champions League, traveling around, etc. And the injury risk to a lot of players is still going to be there. Obviously, you then throw international football into that as well. I can see why maybe from the coaches' maybe point of view, they might think, well, hang on for a second, who's actually protecting our players here? Like we need maybe we keep the 5 sub? Maybe we should have at least maybe not 2 breaks, but maybe 1 break in the game, so that the risk to injuries of players is because teams obviously have not been able to strengthen as much as they want during this whole break. So not only are clubs disadvantaged by not wanting to sell, not being able to buy as many players in, they're going to be further disadvantaged by the fact that they're going to have to play more games in such a short period of time and risk further injuries. That's coming from more of a potential coach perspective, necessarily the fans. Is that like a valid point?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be different. Every manager's different. Every player's different. I just know that I speak from a Spurs point of view that, when we've got 1 striker in our squad and we've got like 9, like a game every 3 days.
Exactly. Exactly. Harry Kane.
Are you, Sava, are you agreeing with the 5 sub system? No, at least for the virus. Or you want it to go back to 3?
No, I think it's difficult. First of all, I think, for a club like City, they can turn around and go, right, let's change half our team because it's not working. Right. And I don't think it's right. I think it slows the game down too much stopping and starting. We want to see a flow. No, I think they'll go back to 3. If these guys are athletes, we have to remember that these guys are supremely fit athletes in their bubble. If they're behaving themselves, they're not getting COVID. They're fit. They've only had a few weeks off because they were fit from the end of the season. I don't see any reason why we need to take 5 people off in a game. But guys, I really need to go. I really need to go. Much love. Love the debates.
Thank you,
JD. Start watching Harry Kane more closely. All right.
I will, bro. I will. Believe
me. Take care, guys.
Take care, man. Guys, thanks so much everyone watching. So just over 2 hours, from original 1 hour stream. So we appreciate everyone that came on. Thank you so much. Thank you, obviously, for Nick who was here. Sam just going True Red TV. Rodney, thank you for coming on as well. JD, have hope. Always entertaining. And thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I'll be on at some point when United beat Chelsea at some point in the country. Just, it just happens, doesn't it? But thanks everyone for getting in the chat. Really appreciate it, guys. Have a nice day and cheers.